Imagine earning money while you sleep, watching your wealth grow steadily without constant effort. That's not a dream. It's the reality of building assets that pay you forever. Today, you'll discover practical strategies that anyone can apply to create lasting income, manage resources wisely, and turn small opportunities into powerful systems of growth. From understanding money flow to leveraging time, knowledge, and capital, each step you take can multiply your results and secure your financial future. You'll learn how to protect your wealth, reinvest profits, and scale small assets into empires that generate continuous income. This video is packed with actionable advice, clear strategies, and motivation to help you take control of your financial life starting today. Stick around to the end, apply what you learn, and watch your financial potential expand. Subscribe now for more life-changing insights from Audiobook Everyday. Number 1. Learn money flow before investing. Money has a language of its own, and those who understand how it moves never stay broke for long. Most people work their entire lives chasing money, but very few ever pause to study how it actually flows. They learn how to earn, but not how to manage, multiply, or protect what they earn. The truth is that wealth does not begin with money. It begins with understanding. If you can learn the rhythm of money, how it enters, exits, and circulates, you can build assets that continue to pay you long after you stop working. The first lesson in building lasting wealth is to learn money flow before investing. Money flow means knowing where every coin goes, why it goes there, and how to redirect it toward your goals. Without this awareness, investing becomes gambling. You might get lucky once or twice, but you'll eventually lose what you don't understand. Understanding money flow is about awareness, control, and purpose. It's about seeing money not as something you chase, but as something you guide. Most people live in a cycle of earn and spend. They receive a paycheck, pay the bills, buy what they want, and then wonder why nothing is left. They think the problem is that they need more income. But the real problem is that they don't understand the current of their money. Imagine trying to steer a boat without understanding the tide. It doesn't matter how strong your engine is, you'll always be at the mercy of the water. Money works the same way. If you don't know where it's going, you're not in control. The first step to learning money flow is awareness. Every person should know 3 things at all times: how much money they make, how much they spend, and where the rest goes. It sounds simple, but most people couldn't answer those questions without guessing. The difference between someone struggling and someone succeeding often begins with paying attention. When you track your expenses, even for a single month, you see patterns you didn't notice before. You realize how many small leaks drain your financial energy. A morning coffee here, a subscription there, each one looks harmless, but together they form a steady stream that flows away from your goals. Awareness gives you the power to redirect that stream. Once you see where your money is going, the next step is to assign every dollar a job. Money should always have purpose. Unplanned money disappears. This doesn't mean living without joy or denying yourself the things you love. It means aligning your spending with your values and long-term vision. If an expense doesn't move you closer to your freedom, it's taking you farther away. The people who build assets that pay them forever treat every transaction as a vote for their future. Every purchase either adds value to their life or steals potential wealth from it. Understanding money flow also means grasping the difference between assets and liabilities. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability takes it out. It's simple, but this distinction is where many people go wrong. A new car that loses value every month is a liability, even if it feels like a reward. A digital product, rental property, or dividend-paying stock that earns while you sleep is an asset. When you know how money flows, You stop buying things that impress people and start acquiring things that work for you. Another part of money flow is the concept of cash flow, how money moves through your life monthly, not just what you earn annually. You can earn a high income and still be broke if your expenses outpace your inflow. Many people focus only on net worth, but cash flow is the lifeblood of wealth creation. Positive cash flow means you always have money left over to save or invest. Negative cash flow means you're digging into debt. Before thinking about investing, aim to stabilize your personal cash flow so that every month ends with a surplus. That surplus becomes the seed for future assets. Learning money flow also teaches emotional discipline. Discipline. Money reflects behavior more than numbers. Impulsive spending, emotional buying, and instant gratification all destroy wealth quietly. Understanding your financial emotions is part of mastering money flow. Ask yourself why you buy certain things: comfort, status, boredom, fear. When you see those patterns clearly, you gain control over them. The wealthiest individuals are not necessarily the ones with the biggest paychecks, but the ones who manage their impulses. Money responds to discipline, not desire. The next stage of learning money flow is to study the movement of money on a larger scale. Understand how money circulates through economies, businesses, and markets. Observe how companies create products, price them, and reinvest their profits. Notice how governments print money, control interest rates, and affect inflation. This broader view helps you see opportunities. You start to think like an investor instead of a consumer. Consumers spend where investors earn. Every time a crowd rushes to buy something, an investor somewhere is making money from that behavior. The great shift happens when you stop asking, "How can I make more money?" and start asking, "How can I make my money move smarter?" The second question builds wealth. Smart money knows where it's going before it leaves your hand. It earns returns, creates assets, and multiplies quietly in the background. When you know how to direct your money, you stop being a worker for money and become a manager of capital. That shift in mindset is the foundation of financial independence. Practical application is where understanding turns into progress. Start by creating a simple map of your monthly money flow. Write down every source of income, every expense, and every leftover dollar. Then divide your money into categories: essentials, savings, investments, education, and enjoyment. Even if the amounts are small, start the habit now. It's not the number that matters, it's the structure. People who organize small sums wisely are ready when bigger amounts arrive. When you automate your savings and investments, you create a system that supports your discipline even when motivation fades. To build assets that pay you forever, you must first become the kind of person who can manage and respect money. Every great investor, entrepreneur, or creator started with the same principle: control the flow before you expand it. Think of your financial life like a garden. If the soil isn't managed properly, planting more seeds only wastes resources. When your money system is organized, every new investment has a purpose and a place to grow. Learning money flow also means valuing time as much as money. The two are deeply connected. When you trade all your time for income, you limit your potential to build lasting assets. Understanding how money moves allows you to eventually reclaim your time. You begin to see how systems, investments, and automated flows can earn while you rest. But that freedom only comes after mastering the basics, knowing what comes in, what goes out, and how to make the balance work for you. Every person who masters money flow begins to feel a quiet sense of control. Stress fades because uncertainty fades. You know what you can afford, what you're working toward, and how far you've come. You stop chasing shortcuts and start building steadily. You no longer need to impress anyone because you've already earned your peace of mind. That's the hidden reward of understanding money. It gives you calm confidence. The discipline to study your own money habits may not sound glamorous, but it's the root of every financial breakthrough. When you understand money flow, you'll never fear economic change, job loss, or recession the same way again. You'll know that as long as you can manage the flow, you can rebuild anything. The external world may change, but internal control remains. That's what separates temporary wealth from lasting freedom. So before you think about investing in stocks, real estate, or businesses, invest time in learning how money flows through your life. Make it your goal to know your numbers, master your habits, and control your cash flow. Once you can guide your current income with clarity and discipline, you're ready to multiply it through assets. Money follows order, not chaos. It rewards awareness, not ignorance. Wealth creation is not a single event, it's a continuous practice. Each month, review your flow, adjust your direction, and keep improving. Over time, your financial intelligence compounds just like your investments will. The people who stay curious, humble, and disciplined about their money flow are the ones who eventually build assets that pay them forever. Because in the end, wealth is not just about having more, it's about mastering what already passes through your hands every day. Number 2. Build skills that create assets. True wealth begins with the skills you build, not the money you earn. Money alone disappears when mismanaged, but skills multiply their value endlessly. Skills are the foundation upon which every lasting asset stands. They are the tools that allow you to create, improve, and expand your value in the world. Those who rely only on external opportunities remain limited, but those who cultivate internal mastery can generate opportunities anywhere. Building skills that create assets means developing abilities that produce income, freedom, and influence. Skills that keep paying you long after the initial effort is done. Every asset starts as a skill applied with purpose. Behind every profitable business, product, or investment lies someone who learned how to create, market, or manage it effectively. When people say build assets, they often think about buying things, but true asset creation starts with learning how to think, solve, and build. You cannot control the economy or the market, but you can control what you know and what you can do. Skills are immune to inflation and crisis. They are the most stable form of wealth you can own. The first mindset shift is understanding that skills are not optional, they are currency. The modern world pays for problem solving, not time. If you can solve meaningful problems, you'll never lack income or opportunity. Look at any field: writing, coding, design, communication, marketing, teaching, or leadership. Each one, when mastered, can become an asset that earns while you rest. A well-written book sells copies long after the author finishes it. A well-designed course continues to generate income while the creator focuses on the next project. A well-built app, product, or system continues to serve customers day after day. The skill you master today becomes the source of your independence tomorrow. Building skills that create assets begins with understanding your strengths. Everyone has areas where learning feels natural and satisfying. That's your zone of growth. Don't chase skills because they are trendy. Focus on those that align with your curiosity and long-term vision. When you enjoy the process of mastering a skill, consistency becomes effortless. Choose something that allows you to create value repeatedly, something that improves with time and practice. The deeper your skill, the stronger your foundation for building lasting wealth. The next step is to identify high-value skills that directly link to asset creation. These are the skills that allow you to produce once and earn many times. Writing, for example, can lead to books, blogs, scripts, and digital content, all scalable assets Communication skills can lead to courses, podcasts, or speaking opportunities that reach thousands of people. Technical skills like programming, automation, or design allow you to create products and systems that run independently. Marketing skills enable you to reach audiences and turn ideas into profit. Financial literacy lets you grow, manage, and protect your wealth. Every high-value skill has one thing in common. It expands your capacity to produce results beyond your immediate effort. Once you choose a skill, immerse yourself in learning it deeply. Most people stay on the surface, collecting information without practice. Information without execution doesn't build assets. It builds illusion. Turn every lesson into action. Build small projects. Take feedback. Refine your work and repeat. Skill building is a process of shaping yourself into someone capable of delivering excellence. Every mistake becomes a teacher. Every failure, a step closer to mastery. The goal is not perfection, but progress, the steady improvement that compounds over time. When you reach a certain level of skill, the next step is to turn it into a system. Systems convert effort into consistent results. A photographer builds a portfolio that keeps attracting clients. A writer builds an email list that continues to grow their audience. A developer creates tools that others pay to use. Each system begins as a personal skill, scaled through structure. The more you systematize your work, the more it can operate without your direct involvement. That's how a skill becomes an asset. It continues to work even when you're not. One of the most overlooked aspects of skill-based wealth is adaptability. The world changes quickly, and so must your skills. The most valuable individuals are those who continue to learn, upgrade, and reinvent themselves. They understand that every major transition in history rewards the learners and punishes the passive. When industries evolve, new technologies appear, and old systems fade. Those who keep developing new capabilities never fall behind. Continuous learning is the bridge between survival and growth. If you commit to lifelong learning, you're never afraid of losing, because you can always rebuild from your abilities. Discipline is what transforms potential into results. Skill building requires focus, patience, and consistency. You cannot learn deeply if you scatter your attention across a dozen different interests. Choose a few skills that directly lead to asset creation and pour your energy into them. Set daily goals, practice deliberately, and evaluate your growth regularly. Excellence is built through repetition and reflection. Every hour spent improving your craft adds to your hidden wealth. Over months and years, the world begins to notice the quality of your output. That recognition is what opens doors to collaboration, clients, and opportunities. The next stage is learning how to monetize your skill ethically and effectively. Creating value for others is the fastest way to create value for yourself. Focus on solving real problems and delivering real outcomes. When your skill makes life easier, simpler, or better for others, people are willing to pay for it. Build trust, show consistency, and demonstrate impact. The more people your work serves, the stronger your income streams become. But always remember, money follows value. It does not lead it. Chase mastery, and money will follow naturally. Once your skill starts generating income, reinvest part of that income into building systems and assets around it. If you're a writer, create a book series or launch a platform that hosts your work. If you're a teacher, turn your lessons into digital courses or memberships. If you're a designer, build templates, products, or tools others can use. If you're an investor, share your insights through educational content or coaching. Each reinvestment transforms your skill into something scalable, something that lives beyond your daily labor. That's how wealth becomes self-sustaining. A powerful truth about building skills is that the process shapes your character as much as your income. You learn patience, humility, and discipline. You learn how to handle rejection, failure, and uncertainty. These traits become invisible assets that support every future venture. They build resilience, the ability to keep moving forward when progress feels slow. You start to realize that every challenge you overcome while learning a skill adds layers of strength that money cannot buy. Building skills that create assets is also about serving a purpose greater than yourself. When your skill contributes something meaningful to others, it gains longevity. The world remembers value that improves lives. A strong skill used selfishly fades. When you stop working, a skill used to serve others continues to grow even in your absence. Purpose-driven skills attract loyalty, respect, and legacy. They build wealth not just in your account, but in the impact you leave behind. To live a life of freedom, build your foundation on skills that pay forever, not by chance, but by choice. Learn to write, teach, create, code, lead, or invest. Anything that multiplies its value when applied well. Dedicate time every day to your craft. Don't measure progress by how much you earn today. Measure it by how much more capable you become each week. Every ounce of effort compounds. One day, the skill you struggle to learn will become your greatest advantage. The future belongs to those who can create. Assets don't fall from the sky. They are born from ability and shaped by effort. When you focus on building skills that create assets, you remove dependence on luck, economy, or others' approval. You become your own source of growth. Money may come and go, but skill remains. It will feed you, empower you, and protect you for life. Build it wisely, refine it constantly, and use it to construct the kind of future that rewards your discipline and vision. Number 3. Turn income into income streams. Most people spend their entire lives earning money from a single source, believing that stability comes from one paycheck. But real stability begins when money starts arriving from several directions, flowing toward you even when you're not actively working for it. Turning income into income streams means transforming what you earn into systems that continue to earn. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter with the money already in your hands. When income becomes a tool for creation instead of consumption, it begins to multiply naturally. That's how people shift from financial survival to financial independence. The first principle in creating multiple income streams is to stop viewing your income as an endpoint. Most individuals see their paycheck as a finish line. Money arrives, bills are paid, the remainder is spent or saved without purpose. But income is raw material. It's meant to be shaped, directed, and transformed. The way you use your current earnings determines whether your future will expand or shrink. When income flows straight to expenses, it dies in your hands. When it's redirected into creation, it gives birth to new opportunities. The transition begins with intention. You decide that every dollar should either serve your present needs or build your future freedom. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that multiple streams of income mean juggling several jobs. True financial growth doesn't come from multiplying effort, it comes from multiplying impact. Working more hours can only take you so far. What builds wealth is channeling your current income into ventures that continue generating money on their own. This is how wealth quietly compounds, each stream feeding the next, until your finances resemble a network rather than a single line. The foundation of this transformation is discipline. Before money can work for you, it must first be managed by you. The first portion of every income should be set aside with a purpose, not for emergencies or luxuries, but for building something that lasts. This could be a savings base for investment, seed money for a business, or capital for an idea that aligns with your skills. The key is to give your money a mission, to move it from passive storage into productive motion. A stagnant pool of cash loses value over time. A directed flow of capital grows. Turning income into income streams requires awareness of opportunities that match your knowledge and temperament. Not every stream is suitable for everyone. Some people thrive building digital products. Others prefer investing in tangible assets like real estate or small businesses. Some enjoy creative work that produces royalties or ad revenue. Others prefer financial instruments like stocks or bonds. The goal isn't to copy what's popular, but to build streams that fit your strengths, values, and lifestyle. When your streams align with who you are, you maintain them effortlessly. One of the most accessible ways to begin is through digital creation. In today's world, information, content, and creativity can all become income sources with minimal starting cost. Writing, podcasting, designing, or creating educational materials can turn into recurring revenue through online platforms. A single piece of content can reach thousands over time, bringing small but steady returns. The beauty of digital assets is scalability. They require effort once, but can continue earning indefinitely. When used wisely, the internet allows anyone to transform skills into automated income streams that cross borders and time zones. Another effective stream is investing in systems that already exist: stocks, index funds, or dividend-paying companies. When you invest, you essentially buy a piece of someone else's system. Your money becomes part of a larger machine that works while you sleep. The return may seem small at first, but compounding turns small percentages into significant growth over time. Even modest contributions made consistently can build impressive results after a few years. This is why patience is the secret ingredient of wealth. Quick profits fade, compounded gains endure. Real estate has long been a classic example of turning income into ongoing revenue. A portion of earned money can become a down payment for a property that generates rent each month. Real estate requires planning, maintenance, and understanding of local markets, but it rewards those who approach it wisely. Each property becomes an independent worker, earning, appreciating, and providing leverage for future investments. When handled correctly, it becomes a cycle of steady expansion without the pressure of continuous labor. A less discussed but powerful income stream comes from systems and automation. Technology allows you to build processes that operate with minimal oversight, whether it's an e-commerce store with automated fulfillment, a subscription-based service, or an affiliate network. These systems allow your income to detach from your time. The earlier you build these, the faster your earnings transition from effort-based to system-based. Automation doesn't remove the need for work. It concentrates your effort where it matters most, building and optimizing, not maintaining endlessly. Another overlooked path is investing in education, both your own and others. The knowledge you acquire can open doors to new markets and industries, each carrying potential income streams. The more you learn about how money works, the more creative you become in generating it. Education also reduces risk because it helps you make informed decisions instead of impulsive ones. When you invest in learning how to invest, manage, or create, you amplify the effectiveness of every dollar you spend afterward. To build multiple income streams, you must think in terms of structure and sequence. Start with one stable source, then allocate part of its profits to build another. Each stream should strengthen the next, not drain it. The goal isn't to diversify randomly, but to design your income ecosystem deliberately. A writer might use book royalties to fund a course creator might use profits to invest in stocks, an investor might use dividends to acquire real estate. Each stream feeds another until they collectively sustain your lifestyle. Turning income into income streams also demands patience and emotional control. Many people abandon potential streams too early because the initial results seem small, but every major source of recurring income begins quietly. The first few months or even years may show little progress. That's why emotional steadiness is crucial. The discipline to stay consistent while others chase quick returns is what builds generational wealth. Remember that the purpose of multiple streams isn't immediate comfort, it's lasting freedom. You'll also need to learn how to protect your streams once they begin to flow. The more sources you build, the more responsibility you hold to maintain and secure them. Diversification spreads risk, but it doesn't eliminate it. Monitor your cash flow, reinvest strategically, and avoid overextending. Treat each stream as a living system. Adjust when necessary, but don't suffocate it with impatience. Your role is that of a caretaker, ensuring steady flow rather than sudden bursts. Eventually, the goal is to reach a point where your streams sustain your lifestyle without depending on your daily labor. That's when financial independence truly begins, not when you stop working, but when you choose to work. At that stage, your energy shifts from survival to creation. You can take risks, pursue passions, and give back because your foundation is secure. Each income stream represents a layer of freedom, a wall of protection against uncertainty. The more layers you build, the more stable your financial life becomes. Turning income into income streams is not just a financial strategy, it's a way of thinking. It teaches you to use money as a servant, not a master. It trains your mind to seek growth instead of consumption. Every decision you make becomes an opportunity to create value that lasts. The path may take time, but the reward is extraordinary peace of mind, the knowledge that your money is working as hard for you as you once worked for it. The process begins where you are, with what you already have. You don't need massive capital or perfect timing. You need awareness, discipline, and a clear plan. Decide today that a portion of your income will no longer be spent but built. Turn every paycheck into a builder of new paychecks. Let each investment, each system, each idea become a seed. Nurture them patiently, and they will grow into streams that never run dry. In time, your financial life will transform from a single fragile source into a river network, strong, continuous, and capable of flowing forever. Number 4. Own digital products, not liabilities. In a world where everything is moving faster, digital ownership has become one of the most powerful ways to build lasting wealth. Unlike physical possessions that lose value over time, digital products grow stronger the longer they exist. They don't wear out, they don't need storage space, and they don't depend on constant maintenance. They can reach millions of people instantly, and once created, they can generate income for years. To own digital products, not liabilities, means to shift from being a consumer of technology to being a creator within it. It's about building things that earn, not things that drain. Most people spend their income collecting digital liabilities, subscriptions, upgrades, and entertainment that consume time and money without producing value. They buy courses they never finish, apps they rarely use, and gadgets that quickly lose relevance. These are digital forms of liabilities, attractive but fleeting. The difference between digital wealth builders and digital spenders is direction. One group uses technology to create and distribute value, the other uses it for distraction. To escape the cycle of consumption, you must choose to own the tools, not be used by them. The first step in owning digital products is understanding what they are. A digital product is anything you create once that can be sold or shared infinitely without being depleted. It could be an ebook, a course, a music track, a mobile app, a design template, or even intellectual property like code or photography. Each of these exists entirely online and can be accessed by anyone in the world. The power lies in scalability. Once your product exists, it can serve thousands of people without increasing your workload. That's what makes digital products such potent assets. The key to building these assets is to identify where your knowledge or creativity can solve a problem. Every valuable digital product begins with service. It answers a question, fills a gap, or provides convenience. People don't buy digital products because they're new. They buy them because they help. Whether it's a guide that saves time, a tool that simplifies tasks, or a course that teaches a needed skill, usefulness is the foundation of every digital asset that lasts. Once you create something genuinely helpful, you create something that can be sold endlessly. The creation process doesn't need massive investment. It requires clarity and consistency. Start small. If you can write, create an informative digital guide. If you can speak, record an audio lesson or podcast. If you can design, produce templates that others can use for their work. If you understand a topic deeply, turn your expertise into an online course. Every skill you've developed can be repackaged into a form that others are willing to pay for. The advantage of digital creation is accessibility. Anyone with an internet connection can start. Owning digital products also means controlling your intellectual property. Too many creators build their content on platforms they don't own, giving control of distribution and profit to someone else. The wise approach is to build independently. Use platforms as tools, not homes. Your website, your mailing list, and your digital storage should be your foundation. These are the spaces you control, where no algorithm or policy change can erase your work. Digital ownership means freedom from dependence on others' systems. You own the rights, the access, and the revenue. When you create a digital product, the next step is to build visibility. Value alone isn't enough if no one knows it exists. Marketing is not manipulation, it's communication. It's about helping people understand why your product matters to them. Building an audience around your work transforms your asset into a living system. Every person who benefits from your creation becomes a potential advocate. Over time, your name becomes associated with quality and reliability, and your digital products begin to sell themselves through trust and reputation. Once your first product gains traction, the process becomes easier. You start recognizing what people need, how they respond, and which platforms work best for you. This awareness allows you to expand. One product can evolve into a series, a subscription, or a library of materials. Each edition builds upon the last, strengthening your portfolio and widening your income sources. Unlike physical assets that require large upfront costs, digital expansion often costs only time and creativity. That's what makes it one of the most efficient wealth-building methods available today. The beauty of digital products is that they scale without permission. No gatekeeper decides how many people you can reach. A single upload can travel the world. You might be asleep while someone across the planet is buying what you created. This is the quiet magic of digital ownership. It removes time and distance as barriers to growth. Every piece of content, every file, every license becomes a silent worker, generating revenue while you focus on new creations. This is how people build digital empires from their laptops through consistent creation, smart systems, and patience. Digital products are also powerful because they teach leverage. In the physical world, growth often means hiring more people or increasing production costs. In the digital world, growth means smarter distribution and better marketing. The same file can serve 10 people or 10,000 with no additional expense. That level of efficiency makes digital assets one of the purest forms of passive income when built correctly. but it's essential to approach them with integrity and quality. The digital marketplace rewards authenticity. Users can sense when something is made for quick profit instead of genuine value. Another important aspect of owning digital products is sustainability. Trends shift quickly online, but core human needs remain stable: learning, entertainment, communication, and productivity. Focus your efforts on creating timeless value, not temporary hype. An educational resource that teaches a vital skill or a tool that simplifies a recurring task will outlast every viral trend. Build with longevity in mind. The goal isn't overnight success, it's continuous relevance. The longer your product stays useful, the longer it continues to pay you. Owning digital products also frees you from traditional limitations of geography and industry. You no longer depend on a local market or physical store. Your audience is global. You can reach people in different countries, cultures, and time zones with the same product. That reach multiplies your income potential exponentially. It also builds resilience. You're not tied to one economy or customer base. When one market slows, others may grow. This diversification is another layer of financial protection that digital ownership provides naturally. To succeed in this space, you must develop a builder's mindset. Every digital product requires effort at the beginning, but becomes easier with repetition. The first one will test your patience, the second will sharpen your process, the third will feel like momentum. Each creation teaches you more about your craft, your audience, and your own capacity. Persistence is the secret ingredient that turns an amateur creator into a digital entrepreneur. But digital ownership isn't just about money. It's about control and legacy. You're building something that represents your ideas, knowledge, and experience. You're turning invisible thoughts into tangible value that can outlive you. Years from now, people might still learn, use, or benefit from what you've built today. That's the power of digital permanence. While material possessions fade, digital assets endure. They continue spreading your influence and income long after the work is done. Owning digital products instead of liabilities is about choosing creation over consumption. It's deciding that your time and talent deserve to build something lasting instead of chasing short-term satisfaction. It's using technology not as entertainment, but as empowerment. The moment you create your first digital product, you cross from user to owner, from spending to earning. That single shift can redefine your financial future. Every person has something unique to offer: knowledge, skill, or perspective that others need. Transforming that into a digital form is how you build freedom in the modern world. You don't need permission, you don't need large capital, and you don't need perfection. You only need to begin. Each file you create, each system you launch, and each idea you publish becomes part of your growing library of assets. Over time, they form a network of income streams that work quietly in the background while you live, learn, and build more. In the end, owning digital products is not just a strategy, it's a philosophy. It's the choice to be a creator in a world full of consumers. It's the discipline to turn your energy into something that grows instead of something that fades. Digital assets are the modern equivalent of planting trees whose fruits you can enjoy for decades. Each product is a seed of independence. When you own enough of them, your financial life begins to sustain itself, and your time becomes truly yours. That is the ultimate goal. Not just to earn more, but to create freedom that lasts forever. Number 5. Automate systems that earn daily. Freedom doesn't come from working endlessly, it comes from building systems that work endlessly for you. Every successful person who has achieved financial independence understands one truth: automation is the bridge between effort and freedom. When you automate systems that earn daily, you create a structure that allows money to flow without your constant supervision. It's about designing processes that repeat success automatically, turning your knowledge, products, and income strategies into self-sustaining machines. The purpose of automation isn't to escape work, it's to amplify results while giving you back your time. In the beginning, everyone starts by trading time for money. You work, you earn, and when you stop working, the income stops too. That's the stage most people remain stuck in, believing that working harder is the only way forward. But real progress happens when you build something that continues to perform without your direct effort. Automation is the method that transforms one-time work into continuous output. It multiplies your energy by allowing tools, systems, and technology to handle repetitive or mechanical tasks, while you focus on higher-level creation and strategy. Automating income systems begins with clarity. You must understand exactly what in your current process can be repeated, delegated, or digitized. Look at your daily financial activities: earning, saving, selling, or investing. Each one has a pattern. Within that pattern lies opportunity. If something can be repeated, it can be automated. The first step is to identify these repeatable actions and replace manual effort with reliable systems. That could be as simple as setting up automatic savings transfers, or as complex as creating an online business that fulfills orders and manages customers without your direct input. Automation works best when it's built on efficiency. Before you automate anything, refine the process. Automation multiplies whatever exists. If the process is messy, you'll multiply chaos. Simplify, optimize, and remove unnecessary steps. Once the foundation is clean, apply automation tools to carry out the routine work. The goal is to build a lean system that functions predictably without errors or constant intervention. Every hour saved through automation becomes an hour you can reinvest in creativity, learning, or rest. The most powerful automation systems are those that connect technology with financial strategy. For example, setting up recurring investments allows your money to grow daily without your decision-making. A well-structured e-commerce platform handles sales, payments, and delivery even while you sleep. Email marketing tools nurture your audience automatically, keeping your brand alive in people's minds. Affiliate systems, ad campaigns, or online course platforms. All of these are forms of automated income engines when built with purpose. Once set up, they convert activity into revenue continuously. Automation also brings discipline. Many people struggle to save or invest consistently because human emotion interferes with logic. By automating the process, you remove hesitation. The system acts before temptation does. Your savings grow without effort, your investments compound without delay, and your payments are handled on time. Over time, automation becomes your invisible partner, silently building your wealth while you focus on other goals. This quiet consistency is what most people underestimate. It's not spectacular, but it's unstoppable. Another powerful benefit of automation is scalability. You can't manually serve 1,000 customers, process hundreds of transactions, or reply to every inquiry without burning out. But a well-built system can. It expands your reach far beyond your physical limits. Automation allows one person to run what once required a team. This is how entrepreneurs grow from small beginnings to global reach. It's not about doing more, it's about doing less, while systems do more for you. Technology, when used wisely, becomes the ultimate form of leverage. To build automated systems that earn daily, start by mapping the flow of income. Identify where the money enters, what actions trigger it, and what dependencies exist. Then ask how each of those actions can happen automatically. If your business earns from sales, can you automate marketing? If your income comes from content, can you automate distribution? If your revenue relies on clients, can you create a booking or billing system that works on its own? Each solution you design adds another layer of independence. The goal is to reduce friction between creation and payment. A simple but effective example is digital asset automation. Once you create a digital product, like an ebook, course or template, you can link it to an automated payment and delivery system. Platforms handle everything: payment processing, confirmation emails, file transfers, and even upsells. You wake up each morning to new sales while the system does the work. That's the essence of daily earning automation: effort front-loaded, reward continuous. The more refined your system becomes, the more seamless the flow of income feels. Automation isn't only about online tools, it's about creating repeatable personal systems too. You can automate habits, schedules, and decision-making processes. Setting specific times for reviewing finances, scheduling weekly tasks, or assigning responsibilities helps keep your personal life organized and productive. The less time you waste on small decisions, the more focus you have for strategic growth. Automation in this sense becomes a mindset, a way of designing life for minimal chaos and maximum output. The real power of automation lies in its compounding nature. Each small process you automate frees energy that can be reinvested into building another. For example, once your income deposits are automated into savings, you can automate your investment contributions. Once your customer onboarding is automated, you can automate your product delivery. These layers of automation create a self-reinforcing system. Over time, your daily earnings become predictable, stable, and scalable. What started as a single stream becomes a network of continuous flow. Building automated systems requires initial effort and patience. The setup phase demands attention to detail, testing tools, refining workflows, and ensuring reliability. It may feel slow at first, but once established, automation rewards you exponentially. Each process you automate removes a recurring burden. Eventually, your role shifts from operator to overseer. You manage systems instead of managing tasks. You monitor performance, make adjustments, and watch as your automated infrastructure generates steady results every day. Automation also teaches detachment, the ability to trust systems more than impulse. Many people struggle to let go, fearing loss of control. But automation thrives on trust in your preparation. When built properly, it doesn't require constant supervision. This trust gives you freedom of mind, the ability to focus on higher goals without anxiety about daily income. The time you once spent maintaining can now be used to innovate. That's when you begin to experience what real freedom feels like, not the absence of work, but the presence of purpose. One of the most overlooked advantages of automation is that it protects your energy. Humans are inconsistent. We have moods, fatigue, distractions, and limits. Systems do not. They perform the same task perfectly every time. This reliability builds momentum. Whether it's sending emails, collecting payments, or managing investments, automated systems maintain progress even when you rest. This constancy is what transforms average earners into consistent builders. Automation eliminates the gap between intention and execution. It makes success inevitable. As your systems grow, remember to monitor and optimize them. Automation is not abandonment, it's intelligent delegation. Check performance metrics, update software, and improve user experiences. Treat your systems as living organisms. They evolve with technology and audience needs. The more you refine them, the more profit they yield. In time, your focus will shift from managing money to designing better systems that multiply it. The long-term vision of automating systems that earn daily is not just to generate money, but to create freedom of time, location, and thought. It's to wake up knowing your income is secure, regardless of external conditions. It's to live in a state of calm productivity where your ideas create wealth automatically. This doesn't happen overnight, but every system you build brings you closer. The compounding effect of automation is silent yet unstoppable. It grows quietly until one day it transforms your entire financial life. The journey begins with a single automated process, a payment system, an investment plan, or a small business workflow. Once that's in place, expand gradually. Each addition strengthens your financial infrastructure. One day, your income will arrive daily, predictably, and independently of your direct effort. That's when you'll understand what true financial independence feels like. You won't just earn, you'll orchestrate. You won't chase opportunities, you'll design them. When your systems work daily, your life no longer revolves around money. It revolves around purpose. That's the reward of mastering automation: consistent earnings, quiet freedom, and the power to live fully on your own terms. Number 6. Invest in scalable online assets. We live in a world where opportunity is no longer limited by borders or physical boundaries. The digital age has transformed the way wealth is created, and the smartest path forward is to invest in scalable online assets. These are assets that can grow infinitely without demanding the same increase in time, effort, or physical space. They expand as your audience grows, as your content spreads, and as your systems evolve. The beauty of scalable online assets is that once they're built, they can multiply results with minimal additional cost. The key is to recognize them, build them wisely, and manage them with the patience of a long-term thinker. Investing in scalable online assets means shifting from a mindset of ownership to one of creation. It's not about buying something that looks valuable, it's about building something that becomes valuable because it serves others. A blog, a YouTube channel, a course platform, a mobile app, or an automated e-commerce store, all of these are examples of online assets that grow in value as they reach more people. Unlike traditional assets such as property or equipment, these digital assets don't depreciate over time. If nurtured properly, they appreciate because they gain credibility, authority, and consistent attention. The first step in this journey is understanding the concept of scalability. Scalability means that the asset you build can handle growth without collapsing under pressure. For example, if you sell a physical product, there's a limit to how much inventory you can store or ship manually. But if you create a digital course or a software product, 1,000 new customers can buy it instantly without extra effort on your part. That is the essence of scalability. Doing the work once and getting paid endlessly as your reach expands. It's the smartest way to build wealth in today's economy. Every scalable asset begins with value creation. The foundation of any online success lies in your ability to solve real problems. People exchange money for solutions, convenience, and transformation. If your online asset provides that consistently, it becomes a magnet for growth. The internet rewards creators who provide value with attention, engagement, and trust. Once you gain trust, monetization follows naturally, whether it's through digital products, affiliate systems, or subscription models. A scalable online asset grows as your audience's trust deepens. The more authentic and useful your value, the faster your asset compounds in strength. Investing in scalable assets also means playing the long game. Many people expect instant results and quit before the system matures. The truth is, most digital assets start slow. They require consistent effort at the beginning: content creation, optimization, audience building, and refinement. But once they reach momentum, they often grow faster than anything in the physical world. A YouTube channel can start with one viewer and later attract millions. A single blog post can generate income for years if optimized properly. This compounding nature is what makes online assets extraordinary. They gain power over time. One of the most powerful scalable assets you can build is intellectual property. Knowledge, when structured and shared digitally, becomes an asset that never sleeps. Ebooks, online courses, templates, digital art, or training programs all fall into this category. They require creativity, structure, and clarity at the start, but pay indefinitely once launched. The best part is that they're not bound by geography. You can sell knowledge to someone across the world while sitting at home. Your expertise, once captured and packaged, becomes a perpetual income source that grows with exposure. Another scalable online asset is attention. In the digital economy, attention is currency. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and podcasts reward creators who capture and hold attention. When people follow you, your brand becomes valuable. You can monetize that attention through ads, sponsorships, merchandise, or your own digital products. Attention is a renewable resource. The more you earn it, the more you can leverage it. However, attention must be handled with integrity. Building an audience based on authenticity ensures stability. Fake influence fades quickly, but genuine connection lasts decades. Web-based platforms like automated e-commerce stores, affiliate marketing websites, or SaaS products also represent scalable assets. Once developed, they can run with minimal involvement, supported by automated systems that manage traffic, payments, and delivery. The scalability here comes from technology doing the heavy lifting. You're no longer bound by hours worked or physical capacity. The internet allows your product to exist everywhere at once. With proper optimization and marketing, your store or platform can serve thousands of customers simultaneously, generating income while you focus on innovation and expansion. One of the smartest investments in scalable online assets is building a personal brand. Your name, reputation, and expertise can become the foundation for all your future ventures. A strong online presence amplifies every asset you create. When people trust your brand, they buy your products faster, share your content more often, and remain loyal to your work. Your personal brand becomes the multiplier that increases the value of every asset you build afterward. It's a living, breathing digital entity that grows with your credibility. Scalable assets require systems to maintain them efficiently. The goal is not to create another full-time job for yourself, but to design a structure that sustains growth automatically. Use automation tools to handle repetitive processes like email marketing, content scheduling, and customer engagement. Outsource specialized tasks so you can focus on strategy. The idea is to manage the ecosystem, not the micro details. When your system runs smoothly, the asset continues to grow even when you step back. That's when scalability truly becomes freedom. To invest in scalable online assets effectively, diversification is key. Don't rely on a single platform or income stream. Algorithms change, platforms evolve, and trends shift. Build your ecosystem across multiple fronts: a blog with affiliate income, a course that sells independently, a YouTube channel that drives awareness, and an email list that connects directly with your audience. This interconnected approach ensures stability even if one part faces disruption. Diversified online assets protect you from volatility while maintaining consistent growth. One of the most powerful aspects of scalable assets is the compounding effect of digital exposure. Each piece of content, product, or post you create continues to exist online indefinitely. It can be discovered years later, bringing new visitors and new income long after the initial effort. This is where online scalability outperforms physical businesses. Your work doesn't fade with time. It grows as long as it remains relevant. Every article, video, or product adds another layer to your digital legacy, creating an expanding ecosystem of influence and income. Patience is the silent partner in this process. Building scalable online assets is a long-term commitment, not a quick scheme. The early phase often brings more effort than reward, but this imbalance is temporary. The digital world rewards consistency. The more value you create, the more algorithms favor you, the more users share your work, and the more sustainable your growth becomes. Over time, your small digital seeds grow into forests of opportunity, products, partnerships, collaborations, and passive income streams that continue to bear fruit. It's important to remember that scalable assets are not just about money. They are about independence and choice. When you have digital systems earning for you, you're not tied to a specific location, schedule, or employer. You can live with purpose instead of pressure. You gain the space to focus on creativity, relationships, and self-development. True wealth is not measured by numbers in your account, but by the quality of life your income allows. Scalable online assets give you that possibility, the ability to earn freely while living intentionally. The smartest investors in the digital era understand that the internet is still young. There are new platforms, tools, and opportunities emerging every year. Artificial intelligence, automation, and decentralized systems are creating new paths for online scalability. Staying adaptable, learning continuously, and experimenting with fresh ideas ensures your position ahead of the curve. Each innovation introduces a new way to scale. Those who move early often become the leaders of tomorrow's digital economy. Ultimately, investing in scalable online assets is an act of vision. It's believing in your capacity to create something that lives beyond your daily effort. It's building once and earning many times. It's using the tools of technology to amplify human creativity and service. Every asset you build adds stability to your financial life and freedom to your time. Start small, stay consistent, and let your work expand naturally. The digital world rewards persistence more than perfection. Over time, your online assets will grow, multiply, and sustain you, turning your ideas into enduring streams of income and your vision into lasting independence. Number 7. Leverage time, knowledge, and capital. Every person is given 3 forms of currency: time, knowledge, and capital. How each is used determines the quality of life that follows. Most people spend these resources without awareness, scattering them on distractions, instant gratification, or unplanned decisions. But those who build wealth and stability understand how to leverage them with purpose. Leverage is the art of multiplying impact without multiplying effort. When you learn to use your time, knowledge, and capital strategically, your potential expands beyond personal limitations. These 3 elements are the true engines of growth, and when balanced correctly, they form the foundation of lasting prosperity. Time is the first and most precious resource. It's the one asset everyone starts with equally, yet it's also the one most easily wasted. The wealthy don't have more hours in a day, they use them differently. They treat time as an investment rather than a possession. Each hour becomes an opportunity to build something that outlives that hour. Time leveraged well means putting energy into tasks that create long-term benefits instead of short-term relief. Every activity either builds or burns your future, and those who understand this choose wisely where they spend their attention. To leverage time, focus on creating systems and routines that free you from repetitive decisions. Time management isn't about packing more into your schedule, it's about removing what doesn't matter. It's about identifying the few actions that bring the greatest results and giving them your full focus. Delegation and automation are powerful tools for leveraging time. When you outsource tasks that others can do, you reserve your mental energy for strategy, creativity, and growth. Every minute freed from maintenance becomes a minute invested in expansion. The discipline to say no to distractions is the quiet strength behind every productive person. Leverage also means understanding the difference between activity and progress. Many people work hard but go nowhere because their effort isn't directed towards scalable or meaningful outcomes. Time is valuable only when it moves you closer to your vision. This is why having a clear sense of direction is crucial. You can't leverage what you can't define. Setting goals, planning strategically, and measuring results ensures that your time compounds in value. Consistency then turns small daily actions into massive long-term returns. The second resource, knowledge, is the most powerful amplifier of all. Knowledge transforms time into results and capital into growth. It turns uncertainty into opportunity. In the modern world, information is abundant, but wisdom is rare. The difference lies in application. Knowledge becomes leverage only when acted upon. Reading, studying, and observing are only the beginning. True leverage comes when insights are used to improve systems, make smarter investments, or build better products. Every skill you learn multiplies your ability to create, lead, and earn. Knowledge leverage begins with curiosity. Those who never stop learning never stop expanding their capacity. The world changes fast, industries evolve, technologies shift, and opportunities appear in unexpected forms. The person who learns continuously adapts effortlessly. They see patterns before others do, and position themselves ahead of the curve. The most valuable professionals are those who can connect knowledge across fields, combining creativity, strategy, and technical understanding to create something new. Each skill becomes another layer of leverage that strengthens every decision that follows. To maximize the power of knowledge, focus on learning that compounds. Not all information is equal. Some knowledge has immediate use, but limited depth, while other knowledge can be applied endlessly across areas of life. Learning how to communicate effectively, manage finances, understand human behavior, or design efficient systems will benefit you in every pursuit. The key is to learn deliberately, not randomly. Seek knowledge that multiplies opportunities and reduces mistakes. The more you understand, the less you fear risk, because knowledge converts uncertainty into clarity. Capital, the third resource, is often misunderstood. Money alone doesn't create wealth. It's how you deploy it that matters. Capital is a servant, not a master. When used with purpose, it becomes a tool for freedom. When misused, it becomes a trap. The wealthy see capital as energy that must circulate. They don't hold it idly, they direct it toward growth, systems, and opportunities that yield more value over time. Every dollar has a task, and that task is to bring back more than it was worth before leaving your hands. Leverage in capital means making money work for you instead of you working for money. Investing in assets, whether physical, digital, or intellectual, transforms capital into a continuous producer. The key is to choose assets that align with your goals and risk tolerance. Scalable online businesses, dividend-paying investments, or intellectual property are examples of capital deployed efficiently. But leverage also involves balance. Too much risk destroys momentum, while too little limits growth. Wisdom lies in diversification and patience. You must allow capital the time to compound, while resisting the impulse for instant gratification. Combining these three forms of leverage, time, knowledge, and capital, creates exponential results. Time gives structure, knowledge gives direction, and capital provides fuel. Each enhances the other. With more knowledge, you use time better. With disciplined time, you acquire and apply more knowledge. With both, you use capital intelligently. The synergy between them is what builds sustainable wealth. One without the others creates imbalance. Money without wisdom is fragile, Time without focus is wasted, and knowledge without application is dormant. True mastery lies in the harmony of all three. An effective way to leverage these resources is to create value loops. For instance, use your time to gain specialized knowledge, apply that knowledge to create a product or service, then use the profits to reinvest in learning and improving your systems. This cycle compounds endlessly. Over years, what started as small steps transforms into extraordinary progress. Most people underestimate what they can achieve with consistent compounding. When you leverage effectively, you stop chasing opportunities and begin creating them. Another critical aspect of leverage is mindset. To use time, knowledge, and capital wisely, you must think like a builder, not a consumer. Consumers trade their resources for comfort or entertainment. Builders invest theirs in growth and creation. Every decision you make either drains or multiplies your future potential. The difference is awareness. When you treat your resources as seeds rather than possessions, you start planting instead of spending. You begin to measure success not by what you consume, but by what you create. It's also important to understand that leverage doesn't always mean immediate expansion. Sometimes it means slowing down, reflecting, and realigning. The wise use of time includes rest and renewal, because burnout destroys leverage. The wise use of knowledge involves discernment. Knowing what to ignore is as powerful as knowing what to study. The wise use of capital involves restraint. Sometimes the best investment is holding until the right opportunity appears. Leverage requires maturity, not just ambition. Leverage also expands when you connect with others. Collaboration multiplies what you can achieve alone. By partnering with people who have complementary skills or shared vision, you extend your reach and efficiency. You leverage their knowledge, time, and resources in exchange for yours. This exchange creates exponential power. Many of the greatest achievements in business and life come from partnerships built on trust and shared goals. True leverage is rarely isolated. It's collective. Time, knowledge, and capital also influence your inner life. How you manage them reflects how you manage yourself. A disciplined mind uses time with intention, seeks knowledge with humility, and handles capital with responsibility. Mastering these three areas isn't just about wealth, it's about character. The person who can command their time, apply their knowledge, and grow their capital has learned control over their impulses. That discipline becomes freedom. The ultimate goal of leveraging time, knowledge, and capital is to create a life of balance and abundance. It's about designing systems that serve your purpose while freeing you from dependence. It's about transforming limited resources into limitless outcomes. Every moment spent improving your efficiency, expanding your understanding, and investing with purpose brings you closer to independence. Over time, leverage turns small, consistent actions into monumental achievements. When used wisely, leverage becomes invisible. It works quietly behind your success, amplifying results while preserving your energy. It allows you to move with calm efficiency rather than chaos. You'll notice progress accelerating, not because you're doing more, but because you're doing better. This is the essence of intelligent living, knowing how to make every second, skill, and dollar work in harmony toward your higher vision. When you reach that stage, wealth is no longer something you chase, it's something you cultivate, guided by discipline, purpose, and mastery of the three greatest resources you will ever own. Number 8. Grow small assets into empires. Every empire begins as something small, often unnoticed and unestimated. The most powerful wealth builders understand that greatness isn't born fully formed, it grows quietly from consistent effort, wise decisions, and patience. A small asset, when nurtured with vision and discipline, can evolve into something vast and enduring. The difference between those who grow wealth and those who lose it lies not in luck, but in how they handle small beginnings. Every small business idea or digital product has the potential to become something transformative if treated like a seed rather than a shortcut. Growth requires foresight, persistence, and a mindset that values progress over perfection. The journey of growing small assets into empires begins with the way you perceive value. Most people overlook small opportunities because they expect success to arrive in grand form. But the truth is that every great achievement begins in miniature. A single online course can evolve into a full educational platform. A single product can become a global brand. A small investment can multiply into generational wealth. The early stage is where vision matters most. You must see beyond the current size of your asset and focus on its potential. Where others see something modest, the strategic mind sees a foundation to build upon. Nurturing small assets requires a combination of patience and precision. When your resources are limited, your decisions must be sharp. Each choice becomes a brick in the structure you're building. You must know when to expand, when to hold, and when to reinvest. Growth doesn't happen by random luck. It's engineered through consistent refinement. The most effective approach is to treat your small asset like a living system, something that evolves as you feed it with better strategies, knowledge, and innovation. Every improvement compounds. Each small enhancement adds up until your once tiny creation becomes a force that generates momentum on its own. The first step in expansion is mastery. Before an asset can grow, it must function efficiently on a small scale. If a business model isn't stable with 10 customers, it won't magically become stable with 1,000. Growth magnifies strengths and weaknesses alike. You must focus on optimization before expansion. Make sure your system runs smoothly, your product delivers genuine value, and your processes can handle repetition without losing quality. Growth built on instability collapses under pressure, but growth built on strength multiplies naturally. This is how small assets evolve into reliable structures that can scale without breaking. The next phase is reinvestment. Every dollar earned from your small asset is a potential building block for greater growth. The temptation to consume profits early must be resisted. Those who build empires think in cycles, not moments. They feed their earnings back into the system to create more output. Reinvestment accelerates growth by turning small wins into larger opportunities. It might mean improving your product, expanding your reach, or acquiring complementary assets. This cycle of earning, reinvesting, compounding is what creates exponential growth. Over time, what began as a modest venture becomes a powerful engine of wealth. To grow small assets effectively, you must develop the skill of strategic scaling. Scaling is not simply doing more, it's doing smarter. It's about identifying what works and amplifying it while eliminating inefficiencies. Data, feedback, and observation guide this process. You must measure results constantly, understand what brings the greatest returns, and allocate resources to those areas. This discipline prevents waste and ensures every effort contributes to upward momentum. Scaling also involves systems, automated processes, reliable teams, and digital tools that can handle growth without requiring constant supervision. The better your systems, the faster you can scale sustainably. Small assets grow faster when they're connected to other assets. This is where the principle of synergy comes in. Instead of building multiple unrelated projects, create assets that strengthen one another. A digital course can promote your ebook, which directs readers to your website, which builds an audience for your membership program. Each piece feeds the next, creating a self-sustaining ecosystem. Empires are rarely built on isolated efforts. They're constructed through interlocking systems that multiply one another's value. As your network of assets expands, your income streams become more stable and your brand more recognizable. Adaptability plays a vital role in transforming small beginnings into lasting empires. Markets change, technology evolves, and trends shift. To survive, you must remain flexible. Rigid systems collapse when the environment changes, but adaptable ones thrive. The willingness to learn and evolve keeps your assets alive and relevant. Listen to your audience, watch market patterns, and adjust your strategies before you're forced to. Growth requires movement, and movement requires awareness. The faster you can adapt without losing direction, the faster your small asset will multiply in reach and profitability. Another critical aspect of growing small assets into empires is building a brand around them. People don't just buy products, they buy trust, meaning and identity. A strong brand transforms a small idea into a movement. It gives your asset character and recognition. Invest time in defining your message, your tone, and your purpose. Every interaction with your audience should reinforce the value you represent. When people trust your brand, growth becomes organic. They share your work, recommend your products, and become loyal supporters. That loyalty compounds faster than any advertisement could. Leadership is another factor that determines how far an asset can grow. As your asset expands, your role must evolve from creator to leader. You will no longer manage every detail, you will guide direction, culture, and vision. Leadership is about making decisions that align with long-term goals, not short-term ease. It's about empowering others to help carry your mission forward. The ability to attract, inspire, and lead people will multiply your capacity beyond what you can do alone. Every empire was built by someone who understood the value of building people as much as building products. The process of growing small assets also demands resilience. There will be setbacks, mistakes, and moments of doubt. Progress is rarely linear. There will be times when your growth feels invisible, but those are the seasons of strengthening. Patience during slow growth is the mark of true builders. While others quit at the first sign of difficulty, those who persist quietly refine their systems until they break through. The long-term thinker understands that consistency outlasts intensity. Each challenge faced becomes a layer of experience that protects your future success. One of the most powerful practices in this journey is compounding consistency. The same principle that applies to investing also applies to effort. Each day of focused work builds on the last. Over months and years, the results become astonishing. What once seemed insignificant becomes unstoppable because of steady growth. Many people fail to build empires, not because they lack opportunity, but because they lack endurance. The commitment to keep building, improving, and learning over time is what separates temporary success from enduring legacy. To expand small assets, you must also learn the art of leverage. Use the resources available, time, technology, and partnerships to accelerate progress. Technology allows you to reach millions without physical expansion. Strategic partnerships give you access to audiences and expertise you couldn't reach alone. The more leverage you create, the faster your small asset grows beyond personal limits. Empire builders understand how to multiply effort without multiplying stress. They design systems that allow growth to continue even when they step back. As your small assets evolve, remember to stay grounded in your purpose. Growth should not be driven by greed, but by value creation. Empires built on service last longer than those built on selfish ambition. The true reward of expansion is the ability to make a greater impact, to provide more opportunities, solve bigger problems, and create lasting change. Purpose-driven growth not only sustains motivation, but also attracts the right people and partners to your mission. When your work improves lives, growth becomes both natural and meaningful. Over time, the small projects you once managed personally will begin to operate like independent entities. Each will have its own audience, revenue, and momentum. That's when you'll realize the transformation from a single asset to a network of systems that generate continuous value. You'll see how the small choices, the early discipline, and the patience you practiced have compounded into something far beyond their beginnings. The path from small assets to empires is not about size. It's about depth, strategy, and endurance. It's about building something stable before scaling it high. It's about nurturing every element until it becomes self-sustaining. True empire builders don't rush. They construct deliberately, layer by layer, decision by decision. Every great empire was once just an idea in someone's mind, brought to life through persistence and intelligent action. If you keep growing, refining, and believing in the potential of your small assets, they will eventually expand beyond your imagination. That's the quiet power of compound growth. What starts as small can, with enough patience and precision, evolve into something timeless and extraordinary. Number 9. Protect wealth through smart diversification. Wealth is fragile if left concentrated in a single form. Many people accumulate money, assets, or business ventures without considering how vulnerable they are to sudden changes. Markets fluctuate, technologies shift, industries collapse, and personal circumstances evolve. True financial strength is not measured by the size of your holdings, but by the resilience of your portfolio. Protecting wealth through smart diversification is the principle that ensures stability and growth, no matter the uncertainties you face. It is the difference between building something that can vanish overnight and building a foundation that endures through time. Diversification begins with the understanding that no single investment, asset class, or income stream is foolproof. Every opportunity carries risk. Stocks can drop, real estate can stagnate, businesses can fail, and trends can disappear. If all your resources are tied to one avenue, you are exposed to catastrophic loss. Diversification is the intentional allocation of resources across multiple independent opportunities, so the failure of one does not endanger the whole. It is not about avoiding risk entirely, it is about managing it intelligently while still pursuing growth. The first step in smart diversification is analyzing your current holdings. Take an honest inventory of what you own, how each asset behaves, and what risks it faces. Consider volatility, liquidity, and long-term growth potential. This evaluation allows you to see gaps where diversification is needed. For instance, if all your wealth is tied to a single business, it may generate substantial profit, but a shift in demand or a competitor's innovation could undo years of effort. Awareness is the foundation of protection. Before you can diversify, you must know what you're protecting. Next, diversification requires distributing your wealth across categories that complement one another. Financial assets, physical property, digital investments, intellectual property, and alternative assets, like commodities or collectibles, each respond differently to economic changes. Some may rise while others fall, balancing overall portfolio performance. The principle is simple. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spreading your resources reduces risk, stabilizes returns, and allows for continued growth, even when individual assets fluctuate. Beyond types of assets, diversification includes geography and market reach. Holding investments across different regions and economies shields you from localized crises. Global exposure allows some portions of your wealth to thrive when others experience stagnation. For example, a real estate investment in one country may be stable while stocks in another region outperform. Geographic diversification spreads risk and opens additional opportunities for growth that are unavailable if all holdings are concentrated locally. Another essential dimension of diversification is time. Investing only in short-term opportunities can leave your wealth vulnerable to market swings. Long-term assets like retirement accounts, dividend-paying stocks, or income-generating real estate provide stability and compounding growth. Mixing short-term, medium-term, and long-term investments ensures liquidity while maintaining a trajectory of wealth accumulation. This balance protects against sudden shocks while allowing your portfolio to grow steadily over time. Digital assets, intellectual property, and scalable online businesses also offer a unique avenue for diversification. These assets operate differently from physical or financial investments. They can generate passive income, adapt quickly to market demands, and scale globally. Including these in your portfolio mitigates dependency on traditional assets alone. The modern wealth builder understands that a diverse portfolio must evolve with the economy, blending traditional and digital investments for resilience and long-term growth. Diversification is not static. It requires continuous monitoring, evaluation, and rebalancing. Markets shift, industries transform, and personal circumstances change. What was a safe and profitable allocation last year may become risky this year. Regularly reassessing your portfolio ensures that no single asset becomes disproportionately influential. Rebalancing maintains stability and prevents emotional decisions during market fluctuations. Discipline in this process separates sustainable wealth from temporary accumulation. Smart diversification also involves understanding correlations between assets. Some assets move together under certain conditions, while others behave independently. The goal is to create a portfolio where losses in one area are offset by gains in another. This requires research, analysis, and sometimes professional guidance. Knowledge of these relationships allows you to construct a network of assets that collectively strengthen rather than weaken each other. Effective diversification is as much about strategy as it is about selection. Protecting wealth is also psychological. Overexposure to risk often comes from overconfidence, greed, or fear of missing out. Diversification forces you to think rationally and strategically rather than emotionally. It encourages a long-term perspective, reminding you that preservation is as important as growth. By maintaining a balanced approach, you avoid impulsive decisions that could compromise years of effort. Emotional discipline, combined with strategic allocation, is the secret behind enduring financial security. Another key principle is liquidity. Some assets are difficult to convert into cash quickly without loss. Ensuring a portion of your portfolio is liquid, such as cash reserves or marketable securities, protects you against emergencies or unexpected opportunities. Liquidity acts as a buffer, allowing your other assets to continue growing without being disrupted by immediate needs. Smart diversification balances growth, protection, and flexibility simultaneously. Diversification is also about protecting against unforeseen systemic events. Economic recessions, regulatory changes, natural disasters, and technological disruptions can impact entire industries. A portfolio heavily concentrated in a single sector or market may be decimated, while a diversified portfolio absorbs shocks more gracefully. By spreading resources across uncorrelated assets, you create resilience against events outside your control. This principle is what distinguishes sustainable wealth from fragile accumulation. The benefits of diversification extend beyond protection. They also enable opportunity. With a varied portfolio, you can take advantage of emerging trends without jeopardizing existing wealth. One part of your portfolio may underperform, but other portions can seize growth opportunities, creating overall balance. Diversification is a proactive approach that transforms risk management into a growth strategy. It allows calculated exploration while maintaining a safety net. Education is crucial for diversification. Understanding different asset classes, markets, and economic cycles empowers better decisions. This doesn't mean becoming an expert in every area, but it does require sufficient knowledge to evaluate risks, identify opportunities, and adapt strategies. Informed diversification reduces guesswork and enhances the probability of sustained success. Wealth protection is ineffective without the intelligence to implement it strategically. Another aspect of diversification is income streams. Relying on a single source of income, whether it's a job, a business, or an investment, is risky. By generating multiple income streams, you protect yourself against sudden disruptions. This could include combining employment, business ventures, dividend income, royalties, rental properties, or online revenue. Multiple streams reduce dependency on any single factor and create stability that allows for long-term planning and growth. Diversification also involves insurance and legal structures. Protecting assets from liability, legal disputes, or unforeseen losses adds a layer of security. Trusts, corporate entities, or insurance policies can shield your wealth from risks that traditional investment strategies cannot. Smart diversification accounts not only for market exposure, but also for protection against external threats that could undermine your progress. Ultimately, protecting wealth through smart diversification is about foresight and discipline. It is the recognition that risk is inherent in every opportunity and that security comes from spreading exposure intelligently. A diversified portfolio is not just a collection of assets. It's a network of interdependent structures that collectively preserve and grow your resources. It provides stability, reduces stress, and allows for long-term thinking. By embracing diversification, you create a resilient foundation that survives volatility, adapts to change, and continuously builds for the future. Diversification turns vulnerability into strength. It ensures that setbacks in one area do not destroy your overall progress. It allows you to pursue growth while maintaining security. Those who master the art of diversification enjoy financial freedom, resilience, and the ability to capitalize on opportunities with confidence. Wealth is not just accumulation, it is protection, multiplication, and endurance. Smart diversification transforms small fortunes into lasting empires, ensuring that what you build today can continue to serve and empower you for decades to come. Number 10. Reinvest profits for exponential growth. Growth is not linear. It is exponential when fueled by deliberate reinvestment. Profits are not merely a reward for past effort. They are the raw material for future expansion. Every dollar, every resource, and every advantage gained must be evaluated not for immediate comfort, but for its potential to generate more. Reinvesting profits transforms ordinary businesses, assets, and ventures into self-sustaining engines of wealth. The moment you see profits as an end, rather than a means, growth stagnates. True exponential progress requires a mindset that treats earnings as seeds rather than trophies. The first principle of reinvestment is discipline. It's tempting to spend profits on luxury, lifestyle upgrades, or immediate gratification. Those choices provide temporary satisfaction, but do nothing to compound value. Discipline involves delaying consumption to redirect resources into opportunities that expand capacity, improve efficiency, or reach more people. The wealthy consistently apply this principle, prioritizing strategic reinvestment over instant pleasure. This doesn't mean depriving yourself entirely. It means separating personal enjoyment from the fuel that powers exponential growth. Reinvestment begins with evaluating which areas of your business or portfolio yield the highest return. Not all reinvestments are equal. Profits can be funneled into upgrading technology, expanding reach, improving quality, or creating additional products. Each investment should multiply the value of what already exists. The goal is to generate feedback loops, where the outcome of reinvestment produces more resources to reinvest again. Over time, this cycle compounds, turning modest beginnings into substantial empires. Another key element of reinvestment is timing. Reinvesting too early without understanding the best opportunities can create risk, while reinvesting too late allows growth to stagnate. The ideal approach balances patience with action. Profits should be strategically deployed in areas that can yield measurable improvement while maintaining stability. Consistency in timing is critical. A disciplined schedule of reinvestment quarterly, annually, or in cycles appropriate to the asset ensures that resources are continuously accelerating growth rather than lying dormant. Reinvestment is also about scaling intelligently. When profits are redirected into expansion, it must be done in a controlled, systematic way. Rapid, unplanned growth often leads to operational breakdowns, lost quality, and wasted effort. Smart reinvestment targets areas with proven potential, leveraging existing strengths rather than chasing untested opportunities. Scaling with care allows assets to grow exponentially while maintaining integrity, reputation, and efficiency. Every addition compounds the system rather than destabilizing it. The principle applies not only to financial capital but also to knowledge, networks, and infrastructure. Profits can be reinvested in learning new skills, hiring capable teams, or improving systems. Each of these investments multiplies your capacity to earn further profits. For instance, investing in better tools or processes increases output without increasing effort proportionally. Reinvestment amplifies potential by expanding resources, capabilities, and reach simultaneously. Growth accelerates because each reinvestment builds on the last. Diversification complements reinvestment. By allocating profits to multiple areas, you spread opportunity while mitigating risk. Some reinvestment goes toward reinforcing current assets, some toward creating new streams, and some toward protective measures like reserves or insurance. This approach balances ambition with prudence, ensuring that growth is resilient rather than vulnerable. The interplay between reinvestment and diversification is critical. Reinvest wisely, and your empire expands. Reinvest recklessly, and progress may collapse. Tracking outcomes is essential in the reinvestment process. Every dollar deployed should be monitored for performance. Understanding which investments yield the best returns informs future decisions and sharpens judgment. Profits that are reinvested blindly rarely produce meaningful compounding. Measurement, analysis, and adjustment transform reinvestment from hope into a strategic engine of growth. Each cycle of profit allocation becomes smarter and more efficient, creating momentum that accelerates exponentially over time. Reinvestment also demands creativity and vision. The most successful growth comes from seeing beyond immediate needs and imagining what could be. Profits should be deployed to extend influence, improve offerings, or access new markets. Innovation is a form of reinvestment. Every improvement, new idea, or experimental strategy is capitalized to multiply future returns. The combination of vision and execution turns ordinary revenue streams into extraordinary growth trajectories. Emotional discipline is critical. Reinvesting profits often requires delaying gratification, accepting calculated risk, and resisting fear of loss. It can be uncomfortable to watch earnings go back into work instead of being consumed immediately. But exponential growth demands courage, the willingness to commit resources today for returns that may take months or years to materialize. The disciplined reinvestor understands that delayed rewards are exponentially larger than immediate indulgences. This mindset differentiates long-term achievers from those who plateau early. Automation and technology amplify the effect of reinvestment. Profits can be used to implement systems that improve efficiency, reach wider audiences, or increase production. Each automated process multiplies output without proportionally increasing effort. When reinvestment is combined with technology, growth compounds more rapidly than traditional methods allow. The leverage created by automation ensures that profits continue to generate value even when direct human input is limited. Collaboration and partnerships are another form of profit reinvestment. Using resources to align with complementary talents, networks, or opportunity expands reach and capabilities. Joint ventures, strategic alliances, or co-created projects allow profits to work across multiple platforms simultaneously, compounding influence and revenue. The principle is the same. Redeploy what you earn to access greater possibilities and multiply the impact of each resource. Reinvestment fuels innovation cycles. Each cycle of deploying profits creates new learning, uncovers inefficiencies, and identifies opportunities. The feedback from each reinvestment informs the next, creating a loop of continuous improvement. Over time, this cycle transforms modest operations into robust, adaptable systems capable of sustaining growth in changing environments. It is a dynamic process where each profit fuels better structures, smarter decisions, and more opportunities. Exponential growth from reinvestment is not sudden. It is cumulative. Small, consistent allocations build momentum that appears subtle at first, but accelerates rapidly over time. The mathematics of compounding works in all forms: financial, structural, and knowledge-based. The earlier profits are reinvested, and the more disciplined the process, the more profound the eventual results. Patience, persistence, and strategic thinking turn incremental reinvestment into extraordinary outcomes. Long-term vision is essential. Reinvesting profits is not about immediate gratification, but about creating an enduring system of value. Each allocation should be guided by an understanding of where the asset can be in the future, not just what it can achieve now. Exponential growth comes from decisions that compound over years, not months. The mindset of a long-term strategist transforms ordinary earnings into lasting wealth. Ultimately, reinvesting profits is about creating a self-reinforcing ecosystem. Each dollar allocated back into growth strengthens the capacity for future earnings, which in turn generates more resources to reinvest. Over time, this cycle becomes unstoppable. Businesses, digital assets, or personal investments evolve from simple revenue streams into dynamic engines of wealth creation. The compounding effect of reinvestment is the difference between finite success and limitless potential. The principle applies universally. It works for entrepreneurs, investors, creators, and anyone who earns consistently. Whether through improving skills, enhancing products, expanding systems, or entering new markets, reinvestment multiplies outcomes. The essence is simple. Profits are not an endpoint. They are fuel. The disciplined deployment of this fuel powers exponential growth, transforms small ventures into empires, and creates financial systems that generate sustained abundance. Reinvesting profits transforms the way you think about success. It encourages patience, strategic thinking, and long-term focus. It shifts the perspective from consumption to creation, from accumulation to multiplication. Those who master this principle experience growth that far exceeds effort. Each reinvestment compounds not only resources, but capability, influence, and freedom. The cycle of earning, reinvesting, and compounding is the most reliable path to building enduring wealth, expanding opportunity, and achieving financial independence.